What is going on, everybody? It is Tristan, and today I'm gonna show you how to get more sneaker flips so you can stay consistent with it and get more stock in daily. Because the internet's a really big tool, and I want to make sure you guys are using it to the full advantage that you guys can, because there are so many things I do on a daily basis, things that have made it a lot easier for me to find pairs, and I want to show you all how you can use these methods as well. So if you want more content like this, check my Instagrams, any of that down below. Again, feel free to check out the socials. I've been looking for some certain pairs. I'm gonna post my story again today, looking for like Jaritos, SBs, things like that. Again, hit my DMs if you got them, and check my friend and I's group down below. Again, we can help you become a better reseller, have botters run for you, early information for Nike, anything related to that. Hope to see y'all on the wait list down below or in the waiting room. Check that out if y'all want to. You can get like a little preview of like some examples of like in the group. Yeah, hope to see y'all there, wait list, wherever, and let's get started. Now, the first tip I have is optimization, and I feel like this is a good one to get into first, because a lot of people, when it comes to selling their sneakers, they just post them on StockX, and that is by far the worst way to do it. And no offense, but again, there's several other marketplaces you can post your sneakers on as well to even get potentially higher prices. For example, eBay. eBay's a really good place where you can get a lot of sales on, and it's also a really good place where you can kind of build a market, not build a market, but build a following on. So I heavily recommend that you guys tune in on eBay, do some auctions, do some regular sales, make sure your description is good keywords, handling time, etc. We have a full guide for it, again, on our server down below. Check that out if y'all want to. But really, you got to sell across different platforms, not just on StockX. You got to go to Alias, StockX as well, eBay, OfferUp, Mercari, Poshmark. I mean, I'm thinking of like all the different ones you can sell on, because these different app marketplaces will yield you different prices. You can sell a sneaker for more on eBay sometimes than you can on StockX. And keep in mind, if your sneaker is over $150 on eBay, I don't think you get any seller fees, or it's like 8% seller fee, and that's it. And there isn't like any extra like shipping costs or anything like that. You can actually charge your own shipping cost, lots of things like that. So there is a benefit to using other marketplaces, and also just be careful if you're using like OfferUp, any of these marketplaces where you could potentially meet up with somebody, or somebody can come to you. Do it in a place where you're not going to get robbed. Do it in the middle of the day, public place. Don't have them come into your house. That's just like the worst way to do it. Don't drive to where they're at. That just, a few things like that. Make sure you're using common sense, and don't go out of the way per se. Even if it is like a really good price, good sale, you gotta at least make sure you all are meeting each other in a good area. So at least things will be seen if it were to go the wrong way. But first general tip I have for my newer sellers mainly, but posting across as many marketplaces as you can. That is really the key to getting more sales, because the more places you post them at, the more people that will see them, the more items you have selling. That's what I've always noticed about people that are more consistent resellers. They use different platforms. They aren't just posting their sneakers on Instagram or on Snapchat or selling them to StockX. They're posting them everywhere. That's how you get more sales. Now, the second general tip I have right here is actually learning how to sneaker bot. A lot of people think that sneaker botting is kind of an area that is generally dead, or it's not something you can really get into. Like, you have to be very, very skilled, or you have to know a bunch of steps. But I just want to let y'all know, it is not as difficult as a lot of people think to start sneaker botting, and it's also not as expensive as a lot of people think, because you can start out by renting sneaker bots. That's again something we offer in a group as well. But again, you can go check out marketplaces like Botmart, etc., and you can rent different bots to start out instead of just buying them for their full cost. We recently just had a group buy for some really good bots though. So again, a lot of the time you can't buy these bots because they'll be sold out, but we offered those links to our members so they could go and cop them, since we talked with a bot company, got some for our members in there. So that's really what we do for you guys, is getting you access to those exclusive bots, things like that, so you can start botting on those sites. But we can also run you through it, show you how to do it, because it's just it's really a few basic steps. But if you understand those basic steps, like learning where to get proxies, understanding what bots learn across what sites, learning how to run different drops, like a shock drop versus a regular release. Once you have those basic things down, and kind of understanding how Nike accounts work, then it's pretty easy. It's actually not as difficult as people would think. So that's just one thing I want to mention. There is a little bit of an upfront cost to it, but you can very easily pay that off, especially if you hit go to one release. And if you have capital, botting is something that's very low risk to start, because you don't really have to put too much into it, and you almost get a guaranteed return. Because if you hit, then hey, that's profit, and there isn't you don't lose per se. Especially if you start out renting, you lose a lot less if you don't hit than for example, having the bot that you bought. But then again, a lot easier to have the bot, just again, that when you own it instead of just, going out and running it each week. But another tip I have, starting the sneaker bot, I can show you how to do it down below. That's really what we're for. But that's a good way to source sneakers as well, because again, you can start warming up those accounts, starting a couple times, run for like some grade school dunk drops. I mean, people are hooking the pink foams. That was a great play for my botters. So there'll be drops like that where you can hit like 10, 12, 15. I know one guy that hit 40 in our group. So, I mean, yeah. You can really start up in your game. I mean, 40 pairs, that's a good source right there. I'm also having like botters run for me today for like the Rose Whisper drop. So if you want to have people run for you, something else, again, check it below. Oh, and also just another tip, be really, really careful if you're buying off Instagram, okay? Because I see a lot of people get scammed on Instagram. Don't fall for the people that DM you saying you've won this sneaker, let me know your size. Because they, again, you can DM them any size and they'll say that they have it. It's always a, kind of BS scam just to, get people's money. And if someone's like, yo, you won this retail pair off my story because you guessed the correct size, like anything like that, any sponsored posts on Instagram that shows like a bunch of like, older dunks from like 2021 at like retail prices or like 220, don't fall for that. Do not fall for that. Because most of the time those people have fake references or they don't have any references that you can find. And it's just like I've seen most of the scams, how they work. Like, don't fall for like Square payment links either. I had someone try to do that to me recently, but it's like, again, I don't know why people still try. Like, I know every single one and how it works, so I just like immediately got my money back and just immediately clown that dude in the DMs. Like, I love clowning scammers in the DMs. Like, if you try, I'm just gonna make fun of you. Yeah, don't use Instagram. Just a lot of shiesty people on there. I hate buying off Instagram, and I don't recommend it unless it's like your friend, someone you trust. True. It's good for selling to people though. It's good for selling. You can build some connections there. Buying though, I don't know about that. But my final tip for you guys, again, if you are somebody that, is, like sneaker investing, or maybe you really like buy and hold, holding on to sneakers, or you have a really strong local market. So you're like, all right, most of the time I can just buy pairs off other people, for a little bit under market and then go sell them in my local area for way more. Because I know people that can do that. Shout out like my people in Phoenix, Arizona. I know y'all be getting some crazy sales there. So definitely recommend, if you want to get a better deal off somebody, you take more stock from them. Now, of course, sometimes, you're just trying to buy the one item off somebody, and that really comes in to, what you can offer the person at that point. Like, again, if it is, something of cash or, potential, if they're not really looking for trades, then I wouldn't really pitch a trade. But it's one of those things where you have to look for the different things that can make it better for them. For example, maybe covering the label cost. You're like, yo, I'll go to Pirate Ship or Shippo, and I'll make the label. That's another thing as well, where you can make cheaper labels, save some money there. Because I know a lot of people's like label plug stuff recently has been kind of, not working. So I just, again, recommend those sites. So like you could again cover the label cost for somebody, and that'll be like 10, 15 bucks, and then you could take like 10 or $15 off the price that you were originally offering them. You'll be like, yo, so I know you wanted 200 for this pair, but what if I covered the label and we did 185 my label or 180 my label? And most of the time a seller will look at that and they'll be like, oh shoot, I don't have to cover the shipping cost. Yeah, I'll definitely take that deal, probably the 185. But again, you can still save yourself a little bit of money that way, sourcing sneakers by offering something to the seller, for example, covering the label cost, something like that. Again, that'll incentivize it to them to take your bid, if that makes sense. So yeah, you got to work with the seller. You got to again make sure you're offering them fairly, but offering them something that is going to be kind of more appealing to them. For example, covering the label. And also, if you're buying sneakers off somebody and this is your first time doing it, PayPal goods and services. Okay, cover the fees. PayPal goods and services. Just be safe, don't get scammed. But yeah, for example, I had these two pairs yesterday. These are the Drake Air Forces, size 11. The guy, I was trying to get them off. Originally, I think wanted, it was my dad, not like any guy, but my dad, I think, wanted 200 for these, and he wanted, I think it was around 140, for these Tom Sachs sulfurs right here. So instead, what I did is I just, took both and I offered for both of them. So instead of, 340 paying them for, for them individually, I just said 190. 130 and then 320 right there. So that's kind of how it works, just for a little example. But those are a few tips I have right there to improve as a reseller, stay safe as a reseller, source more pairs as a reseller. I also recommend, of course, different app marketplaces. Like, sometimes it's not bad to use these app marketplaces and check out certain sneakers before they're dropped. If it's a really hyped sneaker and it seems a little bit low, before it's released. For example, Doritos. I don't think we're gonna see something very similar to that soon, but again, if you see something like that, sure, it's not bad to, you know, run to apps sometimes and, you know, buy pairs. So timing is a big thing. I guess that's mainly what I'm trying to say. You could have timed that, you know, bought some pairs, you know, gotten them from whoever had them before, you know, the main sneakers release, and some skate shops were dropping them. But yeah, it was, you know, that was a competitive drop. Sneaker Dunk is also okay too for like sourcing pairs, but like their purchase fee kind of ruins it for some items. Older models, not bad, but like it's all right. It's all right. I prefer just like, you know, local, using botters, like buying off botters, stuff like that. The more you take off somebody, the better deal they're gonna give you. That is a lesson at the end of the day. And you can be that guy if you learn how to bot. Then you can be the guy people buy off. So learn below. But yeah, that's it. Subscribe, like. I didn't even start a screen recording or anything here. You can check my socials there. And again, I hope to see y'all down below if you want to learn the basics of bot and anything like that. You know, sourcing more pairs, becoming a better reseller. Again, don't forget our undermarket deals, all that stuff we run every day for you guys in the groups. So you're not missing out. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I need to mention. I'm getting back to Charleston real quickly today to pick up some stuff. Then I'll be back pretty much tomorrow. So it's like a really quick day trip type thing. But yeah, that's it. So I'm Tristan. Thank you guys. And I'll catch you on the next video soon. Peace.